Today I was actually chatting with an old friend and realized they said, "Hey, I don't really know what it is you do." That was kind of part of what came up during our conversation. And at first I was kind of taken aback. It was like, "Well, I'm a real estate investor. You know that. Like, I know we've talked about that in the past. I know that's come up. I've been investing for a really long time." But I guess it's my own fault for not explaining better what I do. What I do, or what I started out doing, was buying rental properties, and I had a normal job, and I was buying rentals, and then I decided I wanted to go full time. I wanted to learn how to do this real estate thing full time, so I paid down all my debt, and I jumped in, and I started wholesaling. So wholesaling is when you buy a property at a great price, and then you're able to sell it without actually having to close on it or do any of the rehab work yourself, just selling it off right away, making a profit that way. And I did that for several years pretty successfully. And since then, I've evolved now into buying properties with little to none of my own money and rehabbing them and then adding them to my rental portfolio. And again, it's a unique way to acquire properties without using your own money, and it's called the BRRRR method. I've done it so much with my partner, Dave, and my other partner, Bill, that we actually wrote a book about it. It's called The BRRRR Method, and it's available on Amazon. So you can check that out. I'll put a link below. You can find that book, or again, you can watch these videos. I'm putting together a little series of videos on all of the properties that we have BRRRR'd. So today I'm going to do a couple more of them. I think these were our about 14th, 15th properties that we purchased. So let's go ahead and let me see if I can give an example of what I do. Okay, guys, this is called the BRRRR method, and this is a case study on one such property that we purchased here in St. Louis on 5215 Kings Highway. And let's get my camera working. And we're having a little trouble with that one. Let me try this again. Here we go. All right, let's bring that up and then put the camera in there. We have to do picture in picture. There it is. All right. Okay, guys, so this is one example of the BRRRR method, or what I do here. So this is a property that I think this was number 14, we purchased here in St. Louis at 5215 Kings Highway Boulevard. This one, let's see, we purchased back in 2018 for $96,000, and we used a private lender. Now this is a very unique one, and I'll go into that here in a second about the acquisition or how we acquired it. Typically, we're just buying our properties through our normal marketing channels and getting private lenders to help us buy them. So this one was pretty high purchase price given the estimated ARV. So you can see we only estimated 7 days to do a rehab on this, which is very, very short, and only $5,000 in repair budget. We expect the property to be worth $120,000 when we were finished and to rent for $1,000 a month. So one of the most important things with the BRRRR method is knowing where your numbers are, where they're going to be when you're finished with the property. Because we're using a private lender, or I'm using a private lender here, taking $96,000 of their money, and then I'm going to refinance it out to pay them back. My goal is to pay them back quickly, within 60 days, 90 days or less. 180 is usually kind of what we make the loans for. But our goal is to get it done quicker than that, to turn more properties and, again, pay them a high interest rate for a short period of time. So that's what we want to do. So this one, we expected to be worth $120,000. We thought we could get the appraisal for that, refinance it, and get them their money back. Let's take a look. So this one was, again, the unique acquisition on this one was a private money loan that our partner Bill did. So we had a private loan on this property, and the other investor just couldn't finish the deal. And to make it simple or quicker, we would just say that the person had intended to finish the property. They couldn't, so they gave it back. We'll just call it that way. And there were no hard feelings between Bill and the individual. They just couldn't finish it. They needed more money. They ran out of time, so they were happy to get rid of the property, get rid of that debt that they had owed, and we were able to acquire this property that way. So a loan take back or a foreclosure is kind of the more technical term. So our goal for this rehab flip was just to finish it quickly, rehab it, and clean it up, get it to pass inspection. You'll see why here next. We'll do some of the photos. So you can see a lot of the work that had been done, or some of the work that had been done, was pretty decent. Again, they had most of this flooring in. It wasn't complete. The kitchen, I think, was in. I don't think they had the countertops or appliances in, so we had to do stuff like that. But we were able to come in and finish a project. We didn't, so these are not our standard paint colors. We typically use our new gray on all of our properties, but again, we just came in to finish this one up since it was clean and take over the property that way. What did we actually end up doing on this burr? We ended up spending $7,000 on repairs, so we're in a little bit over what we had expected. This one, we had $104,000 invested, and it did appraise right where we were expecting at $120,000. So we only have an equity capture of about $15,000. What that means, once we got it rented out, it means that our note and all of our expenses, we were cash flowing $321 a month. So a tenant comes in, pays us $1,000 a month. We have a mortgage now on that property with the bank, and we also have other expenses. And these are very, very important to figure into your BRRRR strategy. Otherwise, you're not going to actually be realizing any of that cash flow. So we had to figure that all out, figure that all in. So that is where we're at. This one, again, when we refinanced out, let me pull up a calculator real quick and see. I believe we left a few dollars in this one. 104 divided by 120. 104 divided by 120. Yeah, 86% loan to value. So I know we left a few dollars in this one when it's all said and done. Again, this is number 15, so it didn't hurt us that much. We just keep on moving. So our final kind of result on this property was a $15,000 equity capture. So this was a loan take back, able to add it to our portfolio, and cash flowing $321 a month. So that is the case study on 5215 Kings Highway. Let's take a look at another BRRRR deal. So again, the focus on this is, what do I do, guys? I buy properties and I fix them up, and then I rent them out and add them to my rental portfolio. And how I do that is called the BRRRR method. So here's an example of a property we did in, this is up in Ferguson, so 440 North Elizabeth, St. Louis, Missouri, 63135. You can see the exterior of the property there. This one we purchased for $50,000 using a private money lender. So again, we're not using any of our own money to purchase this property. Bought it in September 2018 for $50,000. We figured it was going to take us about 30 days to do the rehab and about 45 days to complete the refinance. And this one we estimated our repairs at $12,000. So our budget, or $12,000 repair budget, with a value of about $95,000 when we were finished. So that's huge. So $95,000 value would be into it for about $65,000. Really, really good numbers on this one with rent around $1,000. All right, let's jump to the next here. So what was our rehab strategy on this property? We were going to do a full rehab, and this time we were using a third-party contractor. So I note that we had about 15 BRRRR properties under our belt at this time, so we kind of have standards. We like a standard paint color. We like standard flooring, so it's a little bit easier to communicate with a third-party contractor or GC when you're able to tell them, this is what I want, this is what it needs to look like. You can walk through the house quickly and say, this is right, this isn't right. So again, we were going to, with the flooring, we're going to save some of the hardwood that was there and use a luxury vinyl tile that we like in all of our properties. This is a lower end rental, so we were going to save the kitchen cabinets, and we were going to put new countertops on and new appliances, or save the appliances if possible. I think we ended up doing a new fridge. We didn't do the roof because, again, this was a lower end area, and we're trying to cut costs on our initial rehab. So that's what we did. Going to skip to the next slide. Here's a few more pictures of it. So this is after it's finished. You can see the family room here. We've got the luxury vinyl tile, real clean. And again, this is great for tenants because when you have tenants in a property, they're going to live a little bit harder. And one of the banes of the existence of most landlords is cleaning up and turning over rental property units. That costs time and money. These luxury vinyl tiles are very, very durable floor. They click together so they don't move like the old plank flooring. So again, they're stuck together. And they're basically waterproof. So you do not have to replace them between every tenant, which is very, very helpful in turning units more quickly. And they just hold up. So we ran that luxury vinyl all the way through into the kitchen. You can see we saved our cabinets that were in there, and we put new countertops on top of them. So you can see we put black laminate countertops on top with the white, makes it just, look nice and clean. Upstairs, again, there was some of the hardwood that we refinished on this one. And we had a downstairs bath. This was a 3-bedroom, 2 full bath because there is a shower in this downstairs bath. The basement, again, same luxury vinyl tile. Actually, it looks like the color's a little off on that one. But we put that down there as well. All right. So how did we do on this one? We spent $22,000 on repairs, so we were not close on the budget. The question is why? What happened? Well, there were a few things that came up that we didn't initially see in the scope of work, one of them being some electrical issues that we ended up having to replace, as well as some of the exterior work. There was a big tree that needed to be taken out. That added up. And then with the third-party contractor, it was kind of what we were learning. And some of the things came up after the fact. It was like, oh, we need an extra for this and extra for that. So again, it just all added up, and it was about $10,000 over what we had even budgeted for. So again, huge learning experience when using third-party contractors. And again, just about budgeting repairs and cushioning your repair budget so that you don't get yourself in a situation where you don't have the money to pay for it. Luckily, we were in a situation where we were able to pay for it, and we had enough equity on this one that we would still be able to refinance to get most of that money back out. And here I'll show you what I mean by that. The appraisal came in at $100,000. So we were at our expectations were around $95,000. We were at $100,000. So again, very, very close to our expectations. Being only at $72,000, or let's call it $73,000 invested, that puts us at about a 73% loan to value, even if we got all of our money back. So even if we capped it down to 70%, we'd only leave $2,000 in there. If we were to pull 80% out, which again we're able to do with some of our lenders, we would have put cash in our pocket. So again, I'm pretty confident we got this one for $72,000 was the loan, I believe. But we got this one rented out for $975 a month. Again, 3-bed, 2-bath. Why is it rented? That's kind of low. Again, it's the area. So we're cash flowing $310 net per month after all the expenses. And on paper, we have an equity capture of $27,000. That is not, again, I'm not going to lock that in because of the area. The appraisal came in at $100,000. I think it's generous. And again, I think we might have to spend a little bit more money fixing this one up again when time came to sell it. So again, on paper, it's a $27,000 equity capture, which is awesome. And again, it's just one of those things you need to be cognizant of when you're doing this, that equity, you can't eat equity, right? Isn't that the old saying? You cannot eat equity. So that's why we live for this cash flow. That's what we're after here. So we put that here in the summary, and that is what I do, guys. So that is the BRRRR method. Let's see if we can get rid of these overlays. There we go. So that is the BRRRR method. That is what I do day to day. I am looking for properties to buy in St. Louis. I buy them at a discount. That's my logo here, the Discount Property Investor. And again, if you're interested in doing BRRRR, that's what you need to do, is you need to find a good deal on a property that usually needs some work. Then you are going to purchase it. You're going to find a hard money lender or a private lender that will lend you money based on the asset. You improve the property, so you're going to add value, bring the value of that property up, get a tenant in place. Then you're going to work with bankers to get it refinanced. That way you pay off your hard money lender or your private lender, and you add an asset to your portfolio. It's very cool. It's fun. It's what I like to do. I like to tell people that when they ask me what I do the stuff like you see on HGTV, but for rental properties. I think that's the short answer. And the long answer I tried to describe in this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you want to learn more about the BRRRR method, like I mentioned before, we have a book on it called The BRRRR Method. I'll put the Amazon link below. Thanks, guys.